So let's start our session for today. Very hot topic over last few weeks, which is Brexpiprazole plus Sertraline as a next potential treatment for PTSD. And you see, I have written here next FDA-approved option for PTSD potential. Actually, FDA was about to give their decision on this combination last month, but but it got delayed. So I'm just waiting right now to see what the FDA says. But the interesting thing is two major studies showed up. One in December 2024 and the last one in February 2025. So I felt like this is such an important topic that we all need to include in our practice. Now, let's understand first the mechanism of action. It's not very straightforward. There are many neurotransmitters involved here, receptors involved here, but it all goes down to amygdala. You all know amygdala. That's where the fear response, memory consolidation, and many of those things happen, which contributes to PTSD symptoms. Now, in amygdala, so the first thing with the PTSD is we all know that there is increase in noradrenaline. And what that does is it acts on the alpha 1 receptors in the amygdala. But noradrenaline causes overactivation of these receptors in amygdala, and overactivation of alpha 1 receptors causes heightened reactivity to the stress and fear related stimuli. And that is what we see with PTSD. That's one likely mechanism. You can see below, there are so many articles that I have mentioned. If you want to dig deeper, all the information that I'm talking about is actually from the articles. And the second mechanism is the reduction in serotonin, but it's not very straightforward like that. One thing that reduction in serotonin happens is through reduced serotonin transporter binding in amygdala again. And that is postulated to cause heightened reactivity to stress and fear related stimulus again. But the other thing is when serotonin goes down, it actually increases the expression of glutamate receptors, which is actually known to facilitate the fear potentiated startle response, which again causes the same end result of heightened reactivity. But when I was reviewing this, there is like also the data available for serotonin 2A receptors. So the data says the activation of serotonin 2A receptor causes facilitation of GABAergic inhibition in amygdala again. Everything goes to the amygdala. And that does the same thing, the memory consolidation, more potentiated startle response, and heightened reactivity to stress and fear. But I will not go into the serotonin 2A, but the basic theory is that serotonin 2A receptors are known to cause that association formation when they see that danger signaling, and that activation causes PTSD to be higher. But the question is, okay, so this is what is happening. What does this combination have to do with that? Sertraline plus Brexpiprazole. And this is what I found from the studies, and one of the study mentioned briefly on this. So not my personal viewpoint, it's all from the data and literature. First is Brexpiprazole. So the alpha 1 receptor here is friend, right? So if alpha 1 is overactivated causing this, Brexpiprazole will block the alpha 1. So it will reduce the reactivity. And second, Brexpiprazole is actually a blocker of serotonin 2A. That's why I believe they chose Brexpiprazole as an option. And sertraline, we already know, increases serotonin, more reuptake inhibition, more serotonin, less glutamate receptor expression. So based on that theory, this combination should pan out well. Now, I will be discussing this in various sections here. We will first go over mechanism of action, like how does this combination really work? I will spend very little time because the goal of our academy is to focus on the clinical aspects. And then we will understand these two major studies that I just mentioned, one published in JAMA Psychiatry in December 24, and the most recent in Journal of Clinical Psychiatry in February 2025. Then we will discuss how to dose, how to weekly dose based on what these studies did. And we will assess if we can implement these strategies in our clinical practice. And how quickly was the response seen in the study? And what are the common adverse events? And the last one will be, sorry, did this combination differ from Brexpiprazole monotherapy or Sertraline monotherapy? So we all know Sertraline Zoloft is FDA approved, right, for PTSD. So how did that differ from the combination?